Welcome to another lesson. Today we'll take a look at pronominal verbs, but this exercise is just a recap of what we have seen so far on the subject. Just for a quick review, you may refer to your books, Exploraciones, on pages 16 and 17. Let's get started. Our first question for today, our first sentence, Antes de su muerte, mi abuela dash cada mañana. Before her death, my grandmother dash every morning. The verb is afeitarse, which means to shave oneself. So we're looking for the verb afeitarse conjugated in the right person and in the right tense. And antes de su muerte, which means that something, this verb afeitarse has to be conjugated in the past because my grandmother is already dead, mi abuela, and before she died, she used to do this, or she shaved her leg every morning. So every morning is a key phrase to tell us that we have to use the imperfect tense because it's an action that was a habit. It was something that was done continuously by my abuela. So we're looking for the verb afeitarse conjugated in the right person, the third person singular, mi abuela, and in the right tense because cada mañana denotes the past progressive state of an action or habit, the imperfect tense. So third person singular and the imperfect tense. The first one is wrong, even though it's in the first person singular. It's not in the imperfect tense. The second one is wrong because it's in the imperfect tense, but it is not in the right person. It's in the third person plural. We're looking for the third person singular, which leads us to our option C being the right option because it is the third person singular and it's in the imperfect tense. Second sentence. El año pasado, Lupe y su perro dash al mismo tiempo. Last year, Lupe and her dog at the same time. We're working with the verb enfermarse, which means to get sick. We're looking for this verb enfermarse conjugated in the right person, the third person plural, because the subject of the verb, Lupe and her dog. And the verb also has to be conjugated in the right tense. Just to give us a clue of which tense we have to use, we have some keywords in the sentence. Al mismo tiempo, at the same time. And then, el año pasado, last year. So, this sort of gives us an idea about the preterite being used to describe completed actions in the past. So, these actions usually happen at a specific time and complete at almost the same time, and then everything is done. So this is one of such, and therefore we have to get our verb enfermarse conjugated in the preterite and in the third person plural. Okay, the first option, se enferma, is wrong because it's in the present indicative tense and it's in the third person singular. So that makes it wrong. The second option, yes, it's in the preterite, but it's not in the third person plural form. Now, the third option is also wrong because even though it's in the third person plural, it's in the present indicative tense, which means that our option D is correct. It's in the third person plural and it's in the preterite. Bien. Now, moving on to the third sentence. Felipe, ¿cómo cuando recibiste las noticias de la beca? The first option is wrong because we have to work with the verb sentirse, but it has to be conjugated in the right person, which has to be the second person singular because Felipe is being asked a question. And it has to be in the preterite because we are describing how Felipe was feeling, his mood at that particular point in time. ¿Cómo nos sentimos? Wrong. This is the nosotros form, the first person plural, but we're looking for the verb conjugated in the second person singular, sorry. Which means that the third is also wrong because even though it's correct it's correct because it's the second person singular, but it's not the right tense. The third is the last option is also wrong, se sentía, because this is the third person singular. We are looking for the second person singular, which makes the option B correct, because te sentiste is the second person singular form of the verb sentirse in the preterite. The fourth sentence. Después de tantos años, la señora Martínez abogada. We are looking for the verb hacerse conjugated in the third person singular for señora Martínez and in the preterite because we're looking at a completed action in the past. So after many years, Mrs. Martinez became a lawyer. So se hicieron is wrong because it's the third person plural. We are looking for the third person singular. Se hacían, third person plural but in the imperfect, also wrong. Se hacía, third person singular but in the imperfect is wrong. Se hizo, correct because it's the third person singular and it's the preterite tense of the verb. Okay. The fifth sentence. Clara muy bien con los demás. The verb is relacionarse. Clara gets along very well with the others. We're looking for the verb relacionarse conjugated the right person, third person singular for Clara, and in the right tense. This tense has to be in the indicative. We're not really talking about the past here, even though if we were, then we would be describing how she used to relate. It would be a description, and for that, we would have needed to conjugate the verb in the imperfect. So the imperfect type of verb that we have here conjugated is se relacionaban, which is wrong because it's in the third person plural. If it were in the singular, that would have made the sentence correct if it were in the past. Se relacionó is also wrong because even though it's the third person singular, it's the preterite. And to describe, for general descriptions, we have learned that you have to use the imperfect tense. Se relacionan is also wrong because it's the third person plural, and Clara is just one person. We're looking for the third person singular, which makes option C correct. Bien, thank you so much for joining today's lesson y hasta la próxima.